You are listening to Fox Radio 910 and 104.3. I want to welcome you to Let's Talk About, our weekly radio program sponsored by Crowning Touch Senior Moving Services of Roanoke, Virginia. My name is Linda Balentine, the president of Crowning Touch and your host for this series. I interview local characters, service providers, politicians, teachers, entrepreneurs, and business professionals, and each one is dedicated to improving life in our valley. Every person has an interesting perspective to share from all walks of life. So, let's begin today's interview. Today, we are shining a light on Apple Ridge Farm, and it is much more than just a summer camp up on 96 acres in Copper Hill, Virginia. It is so much more, and we're going to find out all the ways in which it is special because we are sitting here with the founder, Peter Lewis, who 50 years ago developed this special spot, and in the interim has served over 80,000 children. And next to him is Jordan Bell, his program director, and Jordan is special because he was here experiencing it from the ground up, from when he was 9 years old, and that was 25 years ago. So together, they're going to share their story and the impact and enduring legacy of Apple Ridge Farm. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Well, Peter, let's go back 50 years and tell me, I know that you were born in Washington, D.C. That's an urban environment, and something sparked you to create this sort of a refuge spot, and and it's much more than that. But tell me what inspired you to start Apple Ridge Farm.
In the late 1940s and 50s, I spent many summers, countless weekends and holidays at my aunt and uncle's dairy farm near Warrenton, Virginia. And I enjoyed it so much that I went back time after time after time. And when I began teaching in Washington, I started taking kids to the country on certain Saturdays and weekends. And when I saw how much they enjoyed it, the light bulb sort of clicked on that maybe this is an experience I can share.
Yeah.
I was a teacher of health and physical education and a coach, but I was also a basketball referee, and I had an opportunity to referee a basketball tournament at Lorton Reformatory, which is about 25 miles down 95 in near off.
Yeah, it's a well-known prison system outside
D.C.
D.C.
It is. And I ran into some former students and kids I've worked with in the summers. And one young man asked me to work with his younger brother still in Washington so they wouldn't end up in prison,
right,
as his other brother was. So I picked up these two kids and I took them down to my aunt and uncle's farm that next Saturday. And we spent a wonderful afternoon there. These boys, 14 and 16, became little wood nymphs running across the fields like Peter Pan. And we were skipping rocks on the mill pond and chasing each other across the fields. And I saw these kids who were already streetwise, but very respectful of me. But they weren't quite hardened, but they were in a way. But they became just like little sprites.
Right.
And I saw a total transformation of these kids. And a light bulb clicked on and said, "Wow, this is really something." Fast forward to graduate school in Michigan. In Flint and Eastern Michigan University, I used to spend weekends riding around that countryside. And even though Flint is a very industrial town, I found myself 20, 30 miles outside of Flint visiting horse farms and dairy farms and got a chance to talk to farmers. And it was then I decided that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to Washington. I'm going to look for some country property and I'm going to buy a farm. And the Washington Post used to have really great ads for country and mountain property, farms, etc. And I found this property and another one in the Roanoke Valley on the weekend before Thanksgiving in 1974.
And advertised in the Washington Post?
Yes. Came down, saw the first one and liked it. Saw the second one and loved it.
Wow.
Came down 4 consecutive weekends and signed a contract on the 4th weekend just before Christmas, 1974, with a check. And we closed on the property March 1st, 1975.
So did you have the complete vision at the point at which you stroked a check for this land? And how raw was this property? What was here? Anything?
Well, it was a a very nice dairy barn that is now the Porterfield Center.
Okay.
Uh,
So you
several other
repurposed that.
outbuildings. We've repurposed that.
Mm-hmm.
Several other buildings, several of which have been also torn down. But the vision sort of evolved. I had a general vision about what I wanted to have, but I kind of surveyed and adjusted as time went on. I met different people. I was exposed to different people. I visited other properties, other camps, other retreat centers, and I got an idea of what I wanted for Apple Ridge. And I look around now, and it's as I not imagined at first, but as I came to realize it now is.
Isn't that something? Now, how did you maintain yourself? Did you keep teaching while you were also developing this property?
I came here working for the Roanoke City Schools.
Okay.
And I worked for a total of 25 years until 2000. And then I retired in 2000, and I started working full-time from 2000 to 2016 as the founding executive of Apple Ridge Farm with a very strong board. And I want to say now that it's one thing to have a vision, but I was very fortunate in to have many people in the Roanoke Valley who bought into this vision, who were enamored not only of me, but of the idea.
Right. It stirred them in some deep part of themselves. They realized there was a need. There was a real need.
And the idea is not original. The New York Times had for a number of years a camp program. And so taking kids to the country is not a new idea, but it's somewhat novel.
Right.
And I can't think of the name of that. I'll think of the name of their program as I get along. But what Apple Ridge has become, I like to say it's more than a destination. It's a medium. Mm-hmm. Not unlike Aladdin's magic carpet, because kids come here, and we've had thousands and thousands of kids to come here for various programs, including our flagship summer camp over the years. But we're like Aladdin's carpet. We're taking them other places, virtually and actually. And so we've gotten a chance to visit 60, 80 college campuses with the help of certain donors.
Wow.
And but we're old-fashioned in our estimate is we want to teach kids certain things, and we practice 4 magic words. Some people say 5: please, ma'am, thank you, and sir. And so we want kids to be respectful. We want them to have self-confidence, but we want them to be respectful of themselves and others, because that's a real key. Knowing how to present yourself, how to talk to people, how to carry yourself is so important. And that was so important in my upbringing, too.
It is, and I think it might be the time to bring Jordan aboard, and I'm going to ask him a couple questions so he can talk about how he's helping to manage and expand the mission that you had when you first started this place. So good morning, Jordan.
Good morning.
And from what I understand, and you've got a beautiful website, and for anybody listening, anybody wants to learn more right now, you can go to appleridge.org. It's fantastic, but so much that I saw there was that you, believe it or not, have managed to combine and have a unique blend of academics and outdoor adventure that inspires scholastic success, right? Because there's a camp here that goes on for 4 weeks out of the summer, and then you have weekly camps, correct? So it's 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Wow. So that's plenty of time to make a real impact on a child's life. And it also keeps them going and not getting rusty. And so many vacation periods for a lot of kids, that's just that downtime in the summer is real downtime. And they go back into school having lost the momentum that they had when they, stopped in May. So you're building social skills and emotional skills. Tell me some more about your programs. Let's detail them out.
So throughout the summer, what we call our flagship program is our 6-week summer camp, where 150 children come up from Roanoke City, and they are able to learn about math, reading, history, arts and culture, They're able to learn how to swim, team building challenges. And this year, we have Antonio Stovall here, who many of your listeners may know, and he is teaching our children about mindfulness and meditation and how to channel their emotions. And so we have a new, not necessarily a new aspect of Apple Ridge, but a different perspective for this generation of children with Mr. Stovall.
That is so creative and so exciting. I think that is fabulous. All right. So how did you pick these children? How do they qualify? And from what I understand, it is free for them?
It's free of charge for any camper that attends Apple Ridge.
Wow. What a blessing that is.
Absolutely. So we are able to provide that based off of the generous donors and support that Mr. Lewis has spoken of over the years. And the way that I wouldn't say that we necessarily hand pick campers. They have a sign up. We have a sign up every year. They come in person, or there's an online aspect of the sign up.
So they actually apply.
Yes, they actually apply. They fill out the paperwork, the necessary paperwork. This summer, we accepted 120 elementary school children. So if you signed up within the timetable of our signups and you were elementary school age, your child was accepted. And so we don't necessarily hand pick children, but it is a application process.
Okay. And then let's talk about some of the key activities. Okay. A kid gets up. Give me a day for one of these children. What happens?
So the earliest bus stop that we have is 7:20 in the morning.
So how many are spending the night here? Anybody?
No one spends the night. Our older campers spend the night.
Okay.
For about 2 days out of the week.
Okay.
But majority of them go back up and forth up the mountain every single day.
Wow. So that's a little bit of a haul because you're, like almost 40 minutes or something from downtown.
Yes. So the earliest bus stop we have is 7:20 in the morning, and they get up to Apple Ridge no later than about 8:45, 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And so as soon as they get off the bus, we check them in. We mark them off on our roster to make sure that they are here.
Are they hungry?
They're always hungry when they get off the bus. They're hungry and ready to use the restroom. And so we provide breakfast and lunch for them.
Okay.
So they get a breakfast, they sit down, they talk, they have fun. They may throw the football for a little while. They run around. And then after breakfast, myself or one of the other staff members do sort of a team building activity with them. That may be some affirmations. We've really started seeing if they could be quiet for 5 minutes. Can they quiet down for 5 minutes straight? So those are some of the things that we do. And then after that, they go to their first academic class. So that is math with Miss Ebony Harrington, who was one teacher of the year for Roanoke City Schools a few years ago. And she currently works over at the Daytech Center. Then we have Miss Kiana Bell, who is a history teacher at Lucy Addison. And she teaches local history, state history, world history. And this year, they are all learning about their family tree.
I love it.
That was a request of Mr. Lewis. And so now they're learning about their family tree.
Oh, fantastic.
And then we have Mr. Antonio Stovall, who I spoke about earlier. He teaches mindfulness and meditation. And then we have Miss Bernadette Lark, who is the founder and executive of Community Arts Reach. And she teaches arts and culture, dance, speech, a little bit of everything dealing with arts and culture. And then Miss Michelle Greco, who's been here, I want to say as long as I've been here. And she teaches environmental education, gardening. She takes our children on hikes throughout the woods. She does a little bit of everything when it comes to the environment and the nature. So we have and then our lifeguards. And this summer, we have 7 college interns from St. Joseph's University in Philadelphia.
Come on. What a staff.
So they come down they spend their spring break at Apple Ridge Farm. Instead of going to Florida or to a beach, they spend their summer at Apple Ridge Farm in a program called Apex. And out of that group, this spring break, 7 of them came back to be interns here at Apple Ridge Farm.
All right. No, they're spending the night, aren't they?
Yes, they are spending the night.
Okay, so they're staying.
And then, of course, our executive director, Josh Timke, who was here each and every day working with us. And then Erica Rosser, who is our admin assistant, who kind of keeps us straight on everything.
So you've got all that academic focus, And then you have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool, correct?
Yes. So,
and basketball, and you have a tennis court. Did I read? I mean, you had a tennis court?
yes. I always like to say that I'm their favorite part of Apple Ridge, but I'm sure the pool is. So the pool, but we have a pool, basketball court, tennis court. We have high ropes and low ropes. We have a zip line, a 60-foot tower where they're able to wall climb that tower. Hiking trails.
Yeah, Carillion contributed that.
Carillion, yes, ma'am.
That was a good contribution.
Ma'am. Absolutely.
Well, this is just now you also use this facility for all sorts of other team building efforts. People can come, and can they rent this space from you? I know you have weddings here.
So we have weddings, family reunions throughout the school year. In the spring and fall, we have schools that come up here and they participate in our team building and environmental education programs. So Roanoke County, Floyd County, Franklin County, Roanoke City, Salem, all of those school districts come up throughout the school year and participate in team building or environmental education. And so
now, do they pay you for that time when they're up here?
So there's
a fee associated with
there's a fee to it.
Yeah.
Of course, different fees for different activities.
Sure, and depending upon the people and everything else. That reminds me then of the cabooses. You have some cabooses still on this property? Do you have those? They're an Airbnb type of deal. You want to speak to that for us, Peter? What is going on? I saw pictures. There are 3 cabooses, and I bet that has something to do with your link to this group of railroaders that are trying to preserve the N&W and Norfolk Southern legacy, this African-American group, correct?
That's correct. I'm a proud member of that organization, but my train roots go back a bit further. Depending on the memory that I can conjure up, my dad and at least 2 of his brothers worked on the railroad when they were in professional school in the teens and 20s. And they worked as a summer job, a good paying summer job, and got a chance to learn about railroads and travel on the railroads. And when I was a youngster, I went to New York City, to Philadelphia, to North Carolina, and I took the first trip by myself to my college at West Virginia State College on the old C&O.
Yeah.
Leaving Washington about 10:30, getting to Charleston about 9 o'clock in the morning. And I met my new roommate on the train.
Well, that was not a fast-moving train, Peter.
It wasn't a fast-moving train. It was a wonderful overnight trip to Charleston, West Virginia from Washington, D.C.'s Union Station.
Yeah.
But when I was a youngster, almost a toddler, I guess, I used to sit in my dad's lap, and we would just go north of the station in Washington on New York Avenue. And we could ride right up to the passenger trains as they were leaving and coming into Union Station.
Yeah.
And I would say, Daddy, take me to the engines.
Aww.
And that's a fond memory of mine.
What a great. So how did that happen that you got 3 cabooses up here? I mean, and one's red, one's yellow, one's blue.
That's correct.
And they're beautiful. They've been redone inside?
They're renovated into Airbnb cabins. I took a train excursion to Shenandoah. North from Roanoke on the old Shenandoah line. And I met a man who I thought was a retired Roanoke City detective that I knew, but it wasn't him. Guy's name was Will Harris. He was then the president of the Virginia Museum of Transportation. But he has a large lumber yard in Goshen, Virginia, but he also moves trains. And we got a chance to chat. And later on, and after I joined the organization that sponsored the excursion, I got a chance to meet Will and several other people. And over those years of membership, I acquired 3 cabooses.
Wow.
One was donated by Norfolk Southern, one was donated by Roanoke County, and the third was purchased from a retired railroad engineer. So we have 3 cabooses, and we renovated them into little caboose cabins, sort of a unique stay on Airbnb.
I think that is wonderful. Jordan, I'm going to direct another question to you because it occurred to me that because you have been, I want you to look back and remember what was important to you or what struck you and the difference it made to you when you were 9 years old. In other words, what type of experience did you have that gives you the unique perspective? You've got a very unique perspective here. What a perfect program director. So
well, I came from Pomona, California,
Come on.
So I grew up in the city. So as soon as I got off the airplane, I tell this story all the time with my mother, my then 3-year-old sister, and my older brother. I felt as soon as I got off the plane, I was with Mr. Lewis. So Mr. Lewis knew my great grandmother. They attended church together. They worked in the community together. And my great grandmother told my mother when we came here in the summer, I think June of 2000, to send those boys up to Apple Ridge with Peter Lewis.
Wow.
And that was now 25 years ago.
That was a great referral. All righty. So how has this route grown you and developed you? What tell me about that.
I have fond memories and stories of coming up here. Again, the pool, the building that we're sitting in right now, the basketball and tennis court, those things were not here when I was 9 years old. So I remember this just being grass and trees and actually being able to run around in an open field and things like that. Things that these children are able to do here at Apple Ridge now that I was not able to do in my neighborhood.
Right.
So it kind of gave me the perspective of, as I got older, of this is a place of, just of peace. And I wouldn't necessarily say it's quiet, but during the summertime, but it's just a place where you can come and relax and kind of be yourself.
Are there any special events or traditions at Apple Ridge as you reflect and look back?
Well,
I mean, do they do seasonal stuff? Do they do, is there special stuff that goes on that, is precious to you? Any special memories?
Oh, all of my special memories up here are, one, hanging out with my older brother up here. A lot of the friends that I have now are friends that I met here at Apple Ridge. And then, of course, all of my fond memories as a 34-year-old man right now, a father, are the stories and memories I have of hanging out with Mr. Lewis. We had a blue pickup truck here at one point, and I have fond memories of me and Mr. Lewis going down to Roanoke and picking up food at Sam's Club and Kroger and bringing it back up the mountain. I didn't know what labor was until I met Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lewis put me to work, but he was, just that person who I needed at that point in my life, and especially now. I think as I'm an older man now, me and Mr. Lewis's relationship has sort of went to another, I guess, aspect.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it now even more so than I did then.
He's more than just a mentor.
Oh, he's much more to me and my entire family than just a mentor.
How old are your kids?
My daughter is 15 years old, and she is currently a junior counselor here right now.
I was going to ask you so we're getting into the multi-generational stuff here.
Yes.
Tell me what Apple Ridge gives kids that they aren't going to get other places.
Well, I'll give one example. Last year, we went to Radford University, and out of 40 children who went, I would say about 20 of them said, Mr. Jordan, this is the first time that I've ever even thought about visiting a college university.
Wow.
Apple Ridge gives them a vision. Gives a vision of that. Mm-hmm. But when they're able to get off of the bus and they look around and they've never seen anything like this.
I know it is hard to believe, isn't it?
They've never seen anything like this, and you can just see their eyes. I don't know if they want to go back home or if they want to stay, but eventually you can tell, they want to stay. But it's just something that they've never seen before, never experienced before, and it's just an oasis of a place. Sort
of like a cultural shock.
Yes.
So do you have leadership training or opportunities for the older campers or alumni here? In other words, kids that are here want to come back, like your daughter is now a junior counselor or something, right?
Yes. So throughout the year, I work with many of our campers who are here right now, but especially our junior counselors. I meet with them throughout the year. I see them at basketball or football games, but about a month before camp starts, we do leadership meetings and what to expect in a day with our junior counselors.
Is there something for volunteers to do up here?
Oh, there's plenty of things for volunteers to do up here. We had one of our campers' grandmothers came up last week. She spent the entire week with us. She worked with some of the classes. She worked with passing out some of the breakfast and lunches. But it's plenty of opportunities for volunteers to come up and help out at Apple Ridge.
Well, if you swing that mic over, I want to ask Peter one last question here. We have about a minute left, Peter, or so. And I want to ask you, what is your vision for the next 10 years or so of Apple Ridge Farm? In other words, if you were going to, you're obviously going to have to pass the baton. And when you're thinking about doing that, what is important to you about what goes forward? And does it incorporate anything else that is not here yet that you still have a vision about wanting to develop here?
That's a great question. One I've been spending a lot of time on lately. I'm a baseball enthusiast. And in baseball terms, they call that setting the table. Mm-hmm. The first two batters in a lineup try to get on base, and they have other people to drive them home. So in setting the table for the next 25 years, I'm hoping that the strong tradition of compassion and concern for kids continues. And we've had wonderful support over the years from a number of strong philanthropists and organizations from the Roanoke Valley. We're looking now for new donors, new friends, new partners to help continue our mission. We have a smallish endowment, but we're looking to increase that so that we can keep Apple Ridge as a strong part of a child's upbringing in the Roanoke Valley. I want to say Jordan mentioned Radford, but we've been to probably 75 college visits, and we've had kids come back and say, I want to go to school now. I want to continue my education after high school.
Well, that is, that I have faith that God's going to continue to do a mighty work here because He's inspired you and provided for you. We're out of time. I just want to thank you both. A big thank you to both for sharing your story. And thank you for giving these kids unforgettable summers and lifelong lessons. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
You've been listening to Let's Talk About, courtesy of Crowning Touch Senior Moving Services of Roanoke, Virginia, the only moving company with a consignment shop, auction house, and real estate division. We are a one-stop shop for any senior making a move. Check out our website at crowningtouchusa.com. Or if you are planning a move, call Anna at 540-982-5800 to arrange a free estimate. And don't forget to check out our monthly browse and bid auctions at 6712 Williamson Road in Roanoke, where you can bid online on over 1,800 items each month. Meanwhile, let's get back together next Friday at noon for more of Let's Talk About on Fox 910 and 104.3.